was listening. Okay.
Okay, everyone ready? Everyone here? Except for the dude, obviously.
Yep.
He's all ears.
Okay, everyone. Welcome to a one-shot session, which might turn into a two-shot if we don't finish on time. We're going to be trying out Call of Cthulhu 7th edition. This is for Blades and Blasters. We are going to be trying one of the pre-made modules from the 7th edition book, and it is called Amidst the Ancient Trees. The tone is going to be a little darker than some of our previous one-shots. It's going to be a little more sinister. I'm sure we'll manage to fuck that up somehow and laugh through the whole thing. But in any case, the story is starting on June 19th, 1925. It's a Friday. You are all in a small town in Vermont, and southwest Vermont, more particularly, in a small place called Bennington, a sleepy little town surrounded by the woods. And it's basically what you would picture, just kind of the main street image, kids running around, mom and pop shops, the woods surrounding the area. It's 1925. Now, recently, you've heard that there was a kidnapping of a young girl, and she is the daughter of let me pull everyone's names up here so I got them all. She is the daughter of Lucas Strong, who is the head of the water department here in the town. Jane Strong went missing and found out she was kidnapped when a group of gang members sent a ransom note. And this all starts on day one, when everyone is summoned to the police station, where they're giving a briefing about what is going on. So Aldous, Henry, Samuel, and Deputy Collins have all been kind of summoned to the briefing. Now there's a larger briefing that takes place. So there's crowds, there's people, they're all kind of figuring out what's going on and being broken off into posses as it's explained to them that Jane Strong was kidnapped. After the larger briefing, where people are broken off into groups or posses, you four are brought into the sheriff's office directly, and you see the sheriff standing there along with Lucas Strong himself. I'll kind of let you guys role play a little bit to kind of introduce yourselves, along the lines of how you see your characters. I know it's a pre-gen one-shot, but just go ahead and throw out who they are.
Real quick, do we know the girl's age?
Yes, she is 16.
And is it just the daughter that's gone missing, or is it also Jane's?
Jane Strong is the daughter.
Right, yeah.
Oh. It spells with a Y. Okay, I guess I'll start then. And so Samuel will step into the office and will go, "All right, what'd you call me in here for? What'd you call all of us in here for?"
And the sheriff looks at you guys and says, well, you know, Mr. Strong's daughter has gone missing. She's been kidnapped. There was a shootout last night when we tried to get her back. They asked for a ransom, and we took the ransom to the edge of the forest where they told us to meet them. And then we tried dropping it off. I don't know who shot first. Someone became skittish. Shots were fired. They took off with the girl. And they took the ransom and fled into the woods.
Henry will kind of adjust himself and cross his arms and shake his head. Never a good idea to associate with those who kidnap children, or anyone in that fact.
No, of course it's not. And Mr. Strong is standing in the background, just kind of pacing back and forth as the sheriff goes over the details with you guys.
So you want us to go out and find her then?
Well, of course we want you to go out and find her.
You say they ran off into the woods. Well, do you think they're living there? They probably left already.
Well, it's large terrain they have to travel through. I didn't see any vehicles. So we're sending out search parties. But because two other deputies were shot, we're sending you... you just put deputy. What's his name? Deputy Collins. We're sending you with Deputy Collins here. And you're going to follow the path that they took.
They're
Well, it's a
bound
good
to have
place to
left some
start.
clues.
Clues? We have no clues.
I'm
showed
sure they
up.
left some clues along the way. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I'm short-handed. That's why I'm sending you with Deputy Collins. Two of my guys are in the hospital right now. One of them was shot and killed.
So you're sending a bunch of civilians to do your job for you.
I am sending my deputy to do my job for me.
And
We're forming a posse.
Samuel's gonna cross around to Mr. Strong and put a hand on his shoulder and go, "Don't worry, Mr. Strong. We'll get her back for you. She'll be safe."
Hey, boy, don't you be making any promises. We don't know what they've done to her.
Don't scare the man.
I only speak the truth.
And Mr. Strong just kind of, he stops his pacing and he's wringing his hands. Whatever you guys have to do, just get my daughter back. I swear, if they lay a finger on her, I don't care what you have to do. Get my daughter back. Please, get my daughter back.
Easy, we'll do it. But you gotta understand here. Speaking of which, do any of you actually have any training of any sort, any kind of skills?
I can sell a damn mean car.
Oh, jeez.
I practically live in the woods. If they're in my terrain, it won't be long until I catch them.
Henry will crack his neck and kind of flex a little. That's about it.
Well, I don't know about any car sales out in the woods, but you said you've lived out in the woods? That could be very, very useful, obviously.
Well, that's why I asked him here. And this is the sheriff kind of piping up now. I put you all together for a reason. We need all this to go ahead and use his knowledge of the area. And of course, we need Deputy Collins here to kind of make this all official and look right. He's going to go with you. He can arrest these men or legally shoot and kill them if necessary. You other two, you have history with Mr. Strong. You're trusted. That's why you're going.
How young is Stephen or Samuel? Is he like a kid?
Samuel?
My
The
character.
cursor.
He's an adult.
I'm not like kid. I mean, like he's like a young adult.
Yeah. I think he's early 30s.
Yeah, he's probably in his 30s. I don't know. I'll let Floor decide that.
I'd say early 30s, probably like 32, 33.
Depinnery? You say you know these woods?
That I do.
Do you have any ideas where they might seek refuge or go to hide out?
There are a couple places that come to mind, but I'm sure if we go to the scene of the crime, I can track their trail. That'll give us a better idea.
Well, then just give us directions, huh? The longer we stand around here, the more likely it is they're getting somewhere else.
I would tend... Why don't we head down to the crime scene and see what we can discover there?
Well, we have to get everything together. There's gear to get in order. There's posses to form. There's instructions to give out. It's 10 a.m. right now. We're going to head off at noon, sharp. You've got 2 hours to get ready. Spend it wisely.
I guess I'll go get my rifle.
So he goes ahead and lets you guys know that, like he just said, you've got 2 hours to prepare before you head to the scene of the crime.
I think Samuel is just going to stick around with Mr. Strong, try to keep him calm and not freaking out.
Okay, let's take this moment for you guys to go ahead and kind of introduce your characters now.
My name's Aldous. I'm the local hunting guide in these woods. I'm an old, weary man, but I'm still strong. I've grown up in this area, and I know the dangers that lurk in the shadows. I'm obviously the best choice to guide this party through the woods and find that missing girl. If she's still alive, that is. I'm not willing to put money on it.
Name's Samuel Montgomery. I used to work in the water plant with Henry until Mrs. Strong gave me a small loan to open my own car sales. I've been neighbors with Mr. Strong for quite some time, and finding his daughter is the least I can do.
I'm Henry. I'm the foreman at Mr. Strong's water plant, and I just want to make sure that this girl's found and she's safe. So I think that my natural physique can come into handy with finding this girl, whether it's getting through any tough aspects of the forest or beating some thugs up.
And then Deputy Collins, he is the sheriff's right-hand man. Obvious choice to lead this posse. Those kidnappers shot and wounded 2 of his closest friends, and there's going to be hell to pay for that. He'll do whatever needs to be done to get that girl back alive and into her daddy's arms. But he's also going to make sure that those men pay for what they did to his friends.
You said we're in West where? What state is this?
Vermont. You are in southern Vermont. Yep, you're in a small little forest town called Bennington.
Bennington, Vermont.
Mm-hmm. Now you guys have, like I said, 2 hours before the posses form and meet up at the forest locations to kind of do what you would like, prepare how you would like. I know one of you said you wanted to go get your Aldous. You wanted to get your hunting rifle.
Yep, or whatever hunting tools I have.
Yep. So he's going to go ahead and do that. Anyone else doing anything?
Yeah. Cool. Henry is going to see if he can acquire some first aid supplies just in case the girl's hurt at all, or if anybody gets injured along the way.
Sure, of course. You can go into town, and you notice that in town there's all the normal kind of little shops you would expect to see. There's a local newspaper building. There's a local library. There's a market kind of place that has things like bandages and alcohol and peroxide, things like that. Just like a general store. There's lots of different little locations around town. So you go ahead and make your way to the market.
Before she takes off, can the deputy make a suggestion that maybe he go with her because?
I'm a man.
Well, no, well you're.
Yeah, not her.
Because
I'm Henry.
If the deputy goes with her, then he's they
Him.
say okay, we're looking to get these. No, we're going to get her. We're looking for this girl.
Oh, the girl.
Okay.
So if we go and say that we're looking for this girl, and the deputy's there, he can say like, hey, to the store, and I'll say, cool. If we take some of this stuff, whatever we don't use, we'll bring back. It's going for a good cause. Blah blah blah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay. So in the meantime, then the deputy tell Henry, hey, would you mind? I would like to accompany you, but before we go off, I would like to, assuming that they know who the name of the robbers are, or the kidnappers rather. Do they actually know who these guys are?
You know two of the names.
Okay.
You don't know all of them.
Right, so he can go ahead and pull those two names and do background check, all that kind of crap in the meantime.
You said they were gangsters, right? So like bootleggers or what?
Well, I mean, who knows what they are? They're a gang, a bunch of hoodlums, maybe not necessarily gangsters. There's no way of really knowing.
Well, hoodlums
They're
make them sound like
people who
younger.
have been documented doing bad things before.
Yeah.
Well, if they're bootleggers, maybe someone knows them. This is Prohibition. Everyone loves a drink.
Yeah, and it's Vermont. It's pretty.
So, yep, I'll allow whatever routes of investigation you guys would like.
Are we going down to the station, deputy?
Yeah. Like I said, I want to do around research as I can on these guys before, and then we'll make rounds to the stores and whatnot and get whatever information we can.
Samuel is going to go buy a bag of hard candies and just kind of pocket them. There for later.
Okay, Grandma.
Oh, God.
It's kind of just how things work around here.
Okay. So, as you go running off, let me find what kind of hunting rifle did you get, Aldous?
I don't know. I'm a hunter, so something good for hunting.
Okay. Let me just try and look up gear
A
here,
gun.
man. Yeah.
How about like a 30-06?
Hey man, I'll even take a crossbow if I'm gonna be old school.
It's just a boomstick.
Someone else has a rifle in their combat. Let me find it.
Rifle?
Who is it?
All my stuff says unarmed. I'm unarmed.
Does everyone say unarmed?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I don't have any
We're all
weapons.
completely.
Oh,
We're all naked.
well, damn.
Is there an SRD for this, or probably not? Nope.
Yeah.
Apparently Henry is unarmed and naked.
Oh my.
Okay, so Deputy Collins, the sheriff hands you a shotgun before you leave, and says, "Keep this close. You never know when you're gonna need it." So under your weapons, you may enter a shotgun,
Okay. Weapon. Shotgun.
Under skill, it's firearm RS for rifles or shotguns.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
And then damage is 4d6.
12d6. Got it.
Yeah.
12d8.
And you get a single attack with that.
Okay.
And we're not going to worry about ammo and stuff like that right now.
Range is probably fairly close range, but whatever.
Close range, yeah.
Depends on slug or scatter shot.
So
I'll put close. Ammo 3 million.
Over 9,000.
And then,
and then
Or knife.
yeah. And then Aldous, you're going to get a rifle, so you can put in rifle under weapons. And it's the
Firearm
same.
RS.
Firearm RS, and the damage is 2d6 plus 4.
I can do plus half DB, then plus DB, plus 0.
No, yeah, plus 0 on that one.
And I'm guessing the range is like medium, or is there like a distance, or?
Yeah. We'll pull that up when it comes to it. You're not gonna be. I don't think you guys are gonna be fighting at such far ranges that you're gonna need to.
Yep. What's the ammo and attack and all that?
Well, it's one attack.
Wouldn't, since this is prohibition time, wouldn't the deputy have like a Tommy gun?
No.
Damn it. How about a handgun?
No.
and
Oh, a handgun. Yeah. I'll let you have a handgun.
I would think
Alright,
more
so
or
this-
at these points, a deputy would probably just carry a nightstick, and that'd probably be about it.
This isn't.
1920s? No
Man,
way.
this isn't Europe.
Hey. Or Canada.
Why not both?
I thought in Canada all they carried was whistles.
No, they carry
They-
maple syrup too.
Maple syrup and hockey sticks.
Oh.
Get it right.
Yeah, good. Ah.
They pour it on the ground like a glue trap.
All right. So we got our weapons.
So,
I got my fists.
so you're running around town.
Which are
You're
the strongest weapons.
doing your different things. You're preparing. Like you said, you've got 2 hours before everything's forming. And Samuel, or not Samuel, I'm sorry, but Henry and the deputy, you were headed to a local corner store market. Is that correct?
Yes.
That is correct.
Okay, so you can go ahead and do that.
Okay. Just a second. Cold. Sweet. Standard handgun for the police for the time period was a Colt revolver.
Ooh.
Okay. Did you add that in?
Yep, I just wrote that in.
Okay.
Well, maybe 3d6.
Oh, I thought you looked it up out of the book.
No, I just looked up for the time period.
Damn.
Let me find weapons here then. We'll go ahead and look that up. But you guys can go ahead and RP your interaction to get your things that you wanted.
Alright. Henry will offer to drive his truck to the grocery store.
Okay,
Wanna hop in, deputy?
sure thing.
Should I call you
Alright.
deputy or Collins? What do you prefer?
Either is fine. I'll be honest with you. I'm not gonna
Call
yell at
me
you.
Deputy Collins.
You don't call me by my Christian name.
Alright, Deputy Collins.
Yeah, so deputy or Collins is fine.
Okay.
Now, what store you want to actually Any store? The general store?
Just the general store. Just gonna pick up some first aid, just in case the girl's injured at all, or any of us, you know.
No, that's smart. Yeah, some general provisions too. Wonder if we
probably
could get like some pocket knives or something like that.
maybe some just in case we're out there till night. Maybe some water bottles and maybe
canteens.
some flashlights. Yeah, some canteens. Get
And
some rations.
some lanterns.
Flint and tinder, you know.
Yep, that is a good idea. All right, so we walk in, and
So
Start
you
going down the aisles.
this place
Yep,
has
so-
everything.
you walk in and it's a well-stocked market. It's one of the main markets that everyone uses, and so it, of course, being a forest town, it has all of those things. It has, you know, everything you're going to need. The sheriff said that you should, if the search continues, you should plan on staying the night out there. Deputy Collins just remembers this. Sheriff pulling him aside and said, you'd be prepared to stay the night out there if the search continues on past dark. We're not going to stop looking just because it's dark. He said
So
that before you left.
Right. So we'll need possibly need tents and bedroll, or that's probably all we're gonna be able to get.
Maybe some protein bars and some nuts. Trail mix.
I don't know about trail mix.
The clerk working at the front is watching you guys go through and pick everything up. And she's kind of amused watching you kind of try and gather all this stuff up.
Oh yeah, because we didn't grab a cart or anything.
Make sure to get
I have big arm.
make sure to get tents and bedrolls and the Necronomicon.
All right, so we're going through and we're finding this stuff pretty easy. You're saying, though?
Yeah, it's all there.
Okay.
Okay. So we bring it up to the cashier.
Dump it on the table.
And she's like, "Oh, wow, is this for the search for the strong girl?"
Yes, it is.
It sure is.
Oh my goodness. I hope she's good. I hope she's okay. That's just heartbreaking. I couldn't imagine if I was that girl's daddy.
Yeah, we're. I mean, many of us are of the same sentiment. So we're
Wow.
hoping to be able to procure this for the police department so that we can go search parties.
Oh, of course. We'll just put it on the sheriff's credit for the department.
What a
Anything
splendid
you
idea.
need. Anything you need.
Okay.
We
Which-
want to make sure that girl gets back safely.
Speaking of which, how about
Duct tape.
some extra ammunition you have stashed there behind the counter?
With some ammunition, of course. What you shooting, deputy?
Well, I have a Colt revolver on my person, and then I have a shotgun,
then-
20 gauge.
And without missing a beat, she kind of nods her head and turns around and starts looking up and down the little shelves she has behind her. Ah, yes, right here. And she pulls the Colt ammunition, and then she looks in a cabinet and pulls out a drawer. And this should do it. And she hands down the shotgun shells as well.
Perfect. Now, is it possible that you could point us in the direction of a few very, very nice sets of binoculars?
Binoculars, well, that seems pretty fancy for us here. I don't know where you're gonna find some binoculars. Not in our store, unfortunately, and I don't know that you can find some in another store. Most of the hunters around here just use their scopes to kind of look at distance, but maybe at the hunting lodge.
We do need
Our-
some cigarettes. For the stakeouts and the searching. It's important for morale.
Yes, and obviously we'll need some donuts too, right?
Only you, because you like donuts.
Well, yes, you help yourself to whatever you need. I just want to make sure that girl gets back to her daddy safely.
Thank you. We're much appreciated.
Be careful out in those woods. Those woods can be just a little scary.
Thanks, Toots.
What do you mean?
Well, you grew up here. You know the stories. Those woods sometimes, people hear things. I even heard rumors of an Indian burial ground once. I don't know if that's true, but that's what some of the people say.
That's
Those
awesome.
fairy tales.
Well, it might all just be hogwash. I don't know. I'm a simple woman that just works here in this store.
Yeah, well, you do a fine job. Now, speaking of which, right down there on that bottom shelf, you mind bending over and getting me some of that down there?
What you pointing at, Deputy?
Just bend. Go ahead and bend right down there. It's right down there at the bottom.
And she kind of bends down and kind of is looking down at the bottom of the cabinet. She's like, I don't see what you're looking for.
Just keep looking.
This right here? This? And she's pointing to various different things.
Nope. Go ahead, take a just keep looking. It's right over there. I mean, if you look where I'm pointing with my finger,
I'm looking right where you're pointing. I don't understand what
you know what. You know what? I got sorry about that.
Oh, my word, Deputy. Okay, you almost made me throw my back out.
Well, woman of your age, I wouldn't worry about that just quite yet.
Oh, well, you're too kind. Well, you be careful out in those woods, and please bring that little girl back home.
We'll do the best we can, ma'am. Start loading the stuff back out into the truck. You said a truck, right?
Yeah, it's truck.
Okay.
All right. Do we have any other stops before we meet at the, the dispatch point?
None that I can think of offhand. We were at the station, so I grabbed up the doc. I wanted to do that research.
Oh yeah, let's head there.
Okay.
So we'll get back into the truck and Henry will drive to the station.
Oh, you're headed back to the station now?
Yeah, might as well.
Okay.
Well, what else did we want to grab?
This is all I want to grab.
I just wanted to grab a piece of that honey.
Know what you mean, brother.
Oh my God.
High five.
What you mean, bro?
Smash that, you know what I'm saying?
Come on. Let's get this together, wrap it up.
Hey, let's objectify women later.
Alright, so yeah, we're heading back to the station.
All right, so you guys head back to the station. As you're heading back to the station, let me... Okay, as you made your way through town, the streets of Bennington are buzzing with news and gossips about the gunfight last night at the edge of the forest. There's talk of police cars, sirens, shotgun blasts, and escaped kidnappers. The locals are saying that 3 gangsters were killed and 2 police officers were shot. Some say wounded, others say dead. Posters are going up across town saying that the sheriff has organized a manhunt to find Lucas Strong's missing daughter and catch the escaped gangsters. Everyone in town has been invited to the meeting at the police station. Rumor has it that Mr. Strong has announced a $5,000 reward for the safe return of his daughter and is willing to pay anyone who can aid in her rescue. So you make it back to the police station. And what is it you wanted to do here?
I wanted to, you said we knew 2 of the kidnappers. I said I wanted to pull files on them and try to get as much info as I could.
Yeah, and the sheriff tells you, you know as much as we do. We've already started out looking for information on them. It's probably going to take a few days before we get anything back. Nothing came up immediately. They're not local, obviously.
Is Lucas Black, that's the dad's name, is like in our general vicinity?
Sorry?
Lucas Black, is he still like right in the general vicinity? If I was talking to the sheriff?
Yeah, Lucas Strong, he's at the sheriff's
Or
office.
Strong, whatever. Whatever. So he, I turned to the sheriff. I said, "Sir, if I may have a moment."
Yeah. Well, you're talking to Mr. Strong, correct?
No, the sheriff.
Oh, sheriff. Oh, the sheriff says, "Yeah, deputy. What is it?" And he kind of turns and looks at Mr. Strong over his shoulder and walks towards you.
What do we know of Mr. Strong? What's his background? What is he? I mean, what do we actually know about him?
Well, he's a pillar of this community, of course. He's a businessman. He's been setting up the water treatment plant here for quite some time. He's been the head of it.
Is it worth investigating him as well?
Well, I hate to admit it, but we always investigate the parents. In this case, the father.
Mm-hmm.
Girl goes missing. Ransom goes missing. Well, we have to look at everyone.
Okay, and who's working on that, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, I got Jerry. He's my only other deputy. 2 others wounded in the hospital. There's you and there's Jerry.
I see. Do you have a file or anything on him that I might be able to get my hands on?
A file on Mr. Strong?
Yes,
No.
sir.
By God, man, why would we need a file on him? He's never been a suspect of anything before.
Well, all due respect, maybe we should keep files on all businessmen.
Files on all businessmen.
Yes, sir.
Well, I don't know the purpose of that. He's not a criminal.
Well, you hear about those big city ones, they go a little bit crooked.
Well, he's a little city one. He's right here, Bennington. He's one of us, lives in our community. He's been good to us. And if you want to start a file on him, well, we're going to start one on him. This is the first time he's ever been involved in something like this. And it happens to be his daughter that's out there missing. So while, yes, we're going to look at him, of course, we're not going to treat him like a criminal right now.
Okay.
You understand, Deputy?
I understand, sir. I just thought it was worth looking into.
We're not gonna leave any stone unturned. We're gonna look, but we're also not gonna treat him like a criminal right now.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, so you said they're still drawing up whatever information they can on the 2 kidnappers that they do know of.
Yeah, Jerry's another deputy. He's in another office somewhere, working the phones and working, whatever systems they had in place at the time. He's trying to figure out anything he can about those people. And like the sheriff said, that can take, several days.
Okay. So at about this time, or I guess about what time is it at this point? Since
It's getting close to noon.
Okay, so I think we're just gonna hang out here and wait for the others to join up with us.
I'm just gonna make sure to pack up all our equipment into some duffel bags or something, just to get it prepared.
Okay. And what are you other guys doing?
I just arrived back. I probably was here when they got here, actually. I wasn't gone for that long.
I guess I grabbed my gear and my gun and headed back to the station, or wherever our meetup point is.
Yeah, I assume that the station was probably the meetup point.
Okay. Yes.
So, Mr. Pennery, do you have any binoculars, or know where we can procure binoculars?
Why would I need any of those when I've got this, and I present my scoped hunting rifle?
Well,
For the rest of us.
you see, sir, yeah, exactly. The rest of us don't all have scopes.
Well, maybe you ought to think about picking one up.
I'm more of a pacifist than anything. I honestly don't want to kill anybody.
You think
give a
I have
shit.
this gun for killing people? I'm a hunter, not a murderer. Let's get
That's
this
good to know.
straight.
Also need to bear in mind that these guys see you. They're not going to hesitate to shoot at you. They already shot 2 of our deputies.
Still. Morals.
I understand morals, but you might change your mind when you're out there.
Maybe, but right now, I don't want to shoot anybody.
And here's hoping we don't have to.
Amen.
So with that, the sheriff lets you know. Oh, all right. And you're all back out in the main the main hallway area where like the crowds are forming. All right, everyone. It's time for all of you to form up into your groups. You're all gonna go out, be taken out. You have to search your areas, search them good. We don't care if it gets dark. We don't care if it gets cold. You're gonna search and you're gonna find that girl. We're not coming back home till we find her. Does everyone understand that?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
And then Mr. Strong, who's been pacing in the background, kind of addresses the crowd. Thank you all for looking for my daughter. I promise to compensate anyone who's able to find her, bring her back safely. Please bring my daughter back safely.
We'll do everything in our...
He's her father, man.
That was a joke. On there.
All right, so the sheriff starts, the throngs of people start kind of pushing past each other, loading up into trucks, getting into position, and they start heading out from town.
Now, is everybody else heading toward the woods? Or are they actually going to like start walking the woods, or are they going to the crime scene?
Well, your group, the sheriff tells you, you're the only deputy I have available. He's talking to Deputy Collins. I need you to investigate this like a crime scene. We've got some federal agents coming up here soon, seeing as how they kidnapped a woman and shot 2 deputies. They're not going to be here for anytime quick. So I want you to start looking at it. I want you to find that girl. That's why I'm sending you guys straight up the middle, right where the crime scene happened.
Yes, sir. Understood.
Now you all be careful out there. Those woods can be tricky. Make you see things sometimes. You can get lost easily. That's why Aldous is going with you. He knows those woods. You just
Make sure to hold
listen.
hands.
You listen to him when he tells you what to do in those woods.
Yes, sir. I feel Mr. Pennery will be a great asset to us.
All right. And then everyone loads up in their vehicles and starts heading out. So you get to one of the scenes here, where the meet was taking place. And let me just change a couple of things, please. Okay. You guys can pull your characters on.
So much work.
So much work.
Hey, I'm in the background layer, so every time I drag my token, it's...
You're in the background layer.
Yeah.
All right.
How do we get our tokens onto the screen again?
You go into the journal and...
I got it.
You just gotta grab your name,
you.
not the picture. You grab your name and drag it over.
Okay.
Can you see that? Like, no?
Yes.
See what?
I
'Cause
can
I've got
see you.
2 tokens on the screen right now.
No, I don't see the other one. I
just
see
see the
one
one.
Aldous.
I see one Aldous.
I see one
I see
lightly light-haired, bearded man.
I see one of everyone.
We are number 1.
As it should be. Don't bring your dead memes into this chat.
I already have it. Too late.
So
It's not
you
that-
guys make it to the location.
Oh,
Hey, yeah. Why is that
Yeah,
there?
so that was a token I dragged out. It was in the background layer the entire time.
get him out of here. He's bothering me. That guy's dead with a wrench. I think it was Mr. Pinnery.
He's throwing
in
a wrench
woods.
into our plans.
You guys make it out to the location where just the night before the meet took place and the shootout occurred. Like the sheriff said, no one knows who shot first, but for some reason, someone got spooked and started firing their weapon. The whole deal went bad. This was right in the midst of the exchange of the ransom money. The kidnappers grabbed young Jane Strong, dragged her off back into the woods, as well as the ransom money. The sheriff lets you know, well, this is where it happened. This is where we're gonna start. They took off down that way, and he points down the trail, the loose trail, heading off in the distance. And he said, this is where you guys start. You need to go in there. You need to find that girl. Mr. Strong's counting on us. Like I said, he's a respected member of this town. We need to do right by him. He does right by us. And all that aside, there's a girl out there. She's got to be scared. You guys get out there and find her. Now don't be talking like that, Pinnery. We're not talking about no dead girls right now. And he kind of scolds you as you start talking about her being dead. We have to be positive about this. She's out there. We just need to find her.
Whatever you say, sure.
All right, sir. We'll do the best we can. Mr. Pinnery, you're mighty heavy in this particular terrain. Since you know this area best, I think it would be beneficial for all of us to heed your experience.
I take a nice look at the scene of the crime. I get down on a knee, I pick up some dirt, rub it against my fingers, and I look at the tracks to see if I can find out where they're going, if they did a false trail or anything.
Okay, go ahead and make well, which one are you going to do? You can either do an investigation roll or a tracking roll.
I'm gonna go with, well, yeah, track, right? I'm looking at
Yeah,
tracks.
sure.
So do I click the green die or the normal die?
The green one. you easily pass that. You can tell exactly what direction their tracks went off in. As a matter of fact, it's very obvious to everyone. The tracks kind of head off in the distance in the path straight ahead of you. You can see where the ground has been disturbed. You can even see blood splatter from the firefight the night before. There's still shells out there. There's a police vehicle nearby. There's another truck nearby. There's still people out there, kind of sectioning the area off, and your group is the only one allowed in. But it's pretty obvious that the trail leads off into the distance there.
So it's super obvious, like enough to be like, maybe this is too easy.
We should just go for it.
Can a deputy roll a spot hidden? Would that be like investigation or because I don't see an investigation skill on here.
It would be I think it's notice or something like that. But yeah, spot hidden is the one you would use.
Okay. I will roll that. I did good.
Yeah, no, that's an extreme success. Not only are you able to determine that the trail going off in the distance, you see the same thing that Aldous sees, the obvious trail going off in the distance, but you're also able to determine that there is no way they could have gone any other direction, because nothing else is disturbed, nothing else has moved. There's no blood, there's no disturbed ground, the leaves aren't dragging anywhere, and with carrying possibly a wounded kidnapper, a 16-year-old girl, and everything else going on, there's no way that they created a false trail for you to follow. You're pretty sure that this is the trail.
Yeah, I would tend to agree that this seems far too obvious, but that seems to discredit the idea. Nothing seems to indicate that they could have gone in.
I guess we're working with amateurs here then. Let's head off. I get off the ground, put my rifle against my shoulder, and start walking in the direction.
Henry will follow with his giant duffel bag full of things.
I'm sure you're all carrying, basically
Giant duffel bags full of things.
No, Henry's carrying my stuff.
Backpacks with gear and duffel bags. And stuff
I will
like that.
carry everything.
Did he bring a wheelbarrow?
I am the wheelbarrow.
All right, so we kind of fall in line then behind Aldous.
Okay, so you guys make your way through the woods, kind of crunching in the semi-wet leaves. The sounds of animals around you. The sun barely being able to break through, making it look darker than it really is. It's noon, but it looks like dusk or evening in the woods. You're kind of trudging through there, and it's not very difficult. And you do this for some time, just kind of following in line and obviously looking about, seeing if there's any diversion or if the trail breaks off anywhere. But you're able to keep following the path and notice that the leaves, the drag marks and different indications of their direction have continued on in this way. It's been a couple of hours now, actually, and you're walking through. There's just the sound of the forest, the smell of the dampness. When you kind of take a stop to rest and drink some water. Go ahead and make a listen roll.
Everyone?
Yeah, sure.
Whoa!
I hear it all.
Go Aldous. Go Aldous.
Well, that just makes sense, really.
Okay. So you guys stop to rest and drink some water, kind of catch your breath. When
Hey, listen. And I turn around towards the direction of the sound and I point my rifle.
What is
I
it?
don't hear anything.
I examine the area in which I heard the sound of wood breaking.
so Aldous lets you know that he heard wood snapping.
Henry will put up his fists.
Like somebody tore down a branch, or like somebody stepped on a twig?
I don't know. I just know wood breaking. Can I tell a difference?
You heard wood snapping, so obviously something or someone stepped on branches who was heavy enough to snap wood.
Mr. Pennery, can you get a better look around with your scope? Or is everything too close and too condensed?
Right now, what is everyone wearing?
I think we're all naked, dude.
Yeah.
Based on our character
Yeah,
sheets.
mine says no gear or present.
Yeah.
Ash or ass. That's
Yeah, we're all hermits.
Yeah, you can describe what you're wearing.
okay. I'm thinking that Deputy Collins here is going to be wearing more of, not necessarily normal wear, but more of a relaxed wear for the time period. But he's still carrying his badge and his holster and all of that good stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, I'd just say more time relative clothes.
For Samuel, it's probably like mild formal. he doesn't really own a lot of stuff to come tromping out into the forest with.
Aldous is wearing ragged and torn clothes, dark greens and grays with dirt all over it. Very unkept, you know? He uses it a lot during his hunting.
Henry's wearing jeans with some heavy-duty work boots and a wife beater, but as a coat he is wearing a fairly heavy, I guess, maybe denim jacket.
Okay. Aldous, go ahead and make a spot hidden roll since you were able to hear the wood snapping.
Did
Very
he
good.
point in that direction?
I'm aiming my rifle at it.
So
I'm sure.
can
The rest of you can make a spot hidden roll, but it's going to be a hard one since you didn't hear anything really, and you're not positive what direction it's coming from.
mhm.
Wah, wah. Unfortunately.
So you needed to get the middle number to pass that. So
Almost got it.
again, none of you succeeded in that.
Whoa, what? 21?
Almost got it.
No, Aldous, you did. Yeah, I'm talking about the rest of you that rolled on the hard, hard setting, essentially. Okay.
What do you need to get the hard?
It's just roll under, so for you...
So you see that middle
You
number?
have to roll under 30.
Gotcha. Okay,
Yeah.
my fault.
No, that's okay. Okay.
Mr. Pitt, seeing anything?
One sec. Just talking with the GM. Okay, so what's for yes again, I guess.
I mean, you can talk to your group as well.
Yeah, but I've got a plan, so.
A man with a plan.
So, you notice Aldous kind of laser focused in one direction where you think he was talking about the noises coming from.
All right, cool.
You're all kind of standing around looking at him like, what do we do?
I'm gonna say to the group, it must be my imagination. Why don't you keep going forward? I'm gonna motion my neck for them to keep walking in the opposite direction while I have my sights pointing at the area.
All right, buddy. And Henry will continue walking.
And as they walk off, Samuel will be like, "What a weirdo."
Would he have to try and persuade us? Because was it just his tone? Because it just sounded off to me.
What's up? I didn't hear you. Cut out.
Yeah.
Okay, so like the way he said that strikes rather odd, right?
Yeah, I was like motioning my neck for you to keep moving.
I think it was pretty obvious that he's trying to get us to go.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. I just go ahead and we continue on.
Yeah. So while they're doing that, can I make like a stealth check to see if I can sneak up on the dude?
What are the rest of you doing?
He said continue on.
Yeah, we're continuing on.
So I'm gonna follow this trail. Do I got to roll like a spot hidden or a track or?
No, you guys are still, clearly following the trail. There's nothing that you have to do to continue following it. It's still at the point where it's pretty obvious. There's so much foliage on the ground that you can see where someone went running through and kind of pushing it aside and stepping on it and dragging their feet or something else through the leaves.
Okay.
It's all pretty obvious.
Okay, so is anybody? These people are moving and with some haste. Something maybe spooked them outside of, some gunshots and stuff. Because it seems like their path here is just too clear cut. Is it just me that's thinking that?
Samuel will look to Henry and be like, well, I'm not a detective.
I know.
Yes, but common sense prevails here, am I right? I mean, look at this. They're making no attempt or effort to cover up any tracks or anything. They're not trying to throw us off this way or that way.
But they were in a rush.
If I had been shot at, I would be in a rush too.
But nobody's been chasing them through here.
Maybe they didn't know that.
Maybe they just wanted to get to where they were going.
Yeah, maybe you guys are right. Maybe I'm just overthinking this.
Probably.
Chances are.
Even if it is a trap, it might lead to some good information.
As you're walking and crunching on the leaves and making noise, everyone make a luck test.
Yeah.
Is that one that we have to write in?
Yeah, where's luck?
I think.
Oh, we don't know what our luck is.
Oh man. Oh, you know what it is? It's okay. Yeah, you're supposed to. roll for it at the beginning.
Should we roll the gray one or the blue one?
No, don't worry about. Let's not do luck then. Everyone roll a stealth check.
Okay. Rip.
Wait, including me or?
Yeah, everyone.
All right.
It's Cthulhu.
Okay, as Aldous is kind of creeping along behind the rest of the group, you're all kind of walking forward, crunching the leaves, talking through the woods. There's a sound of a crack, and all of a sudden, Henry feels a sting against his left arm.
My arm.
No one
the
quite
deputy
knows
wheels.
what's going on. As you go to grab your arm and look down, you see that you're bleeding.
What the fuck?
Take 1d3 wounds, please.
Okay. Do I just roll 1d3?
One. Yep. So you take one wound, you look down, and it's like a scrape, basically. It's bleeding, but it's not a significant wound or anything. You're just shocked and kind of surprised that you heard this crack and then felt this sting as something essentially flung by and grazed your left arm.
I'll look around for the source of whatever injured me.
And it's coming from the same direction that Aldous was pointing to and talking about earlier.
Was there a sound just like landed in the leaves or whatever?
No, you didn't. You don't. You just heard a crack, and then all of a sudden, his arm was bleeding.
Okay. The deputy wheels in that direction with his shotgun drawn.
There's something over there. Henry will point.
What's the? Where am I at in this? Am I like closer to it? I don't know.
Well, as soon as you scream, "There's something over there! There's something over there!" and your voice carries through the woods, you hear off in the distance, "Don't shoot! Don't shoot!"
You shot me, I think.
What? Okay.
Don't shoot!
What?
Don't shoot! And you hear more.
Is it a girl's voice?
No, it's a man's voice.
Oh.
And you hear more cracking and crunching off in the distance, wood snapping, branches snapping.
Show yourself.
Everyone make a spot hidden, and we'll add 10.
I didn't add 10. But...
Ooh. Ouch.
So that's how tonight's gonna go, huh?
So Samuel is facing the wrong direction as everyone else.
He's eating some candies.
He's looking at the ground.
He's like, "Oh, where did that come from? Where did that sound come from?" And he's looking in the opposite direction.
I might have been smoke and didn't realize what the fuck was going on.
But the deputy, he immediately looks off in the direction where he hears someone yelling, "Don't shoot! Don't shoot!" And through the woods, he sees someone holding up their hand and holding their rifle up, and he sees an orange vest as someone starts walking through the woods.
Okay. real slow, and I've got my shotgun trained on him. Just what's going on? What are you doing out here?
And then out of the woods steps these two people. Wearing orange vests. Essentially,
Morris moved.
Are either of the guys I was trying to sneak up on, or not?
yeah, these are the people. They're coming from the same direction you heard the branches snapping, and the same person you saw carrying a rifle.
What are you doing out here?
We're hunting. We're hunting. I'm teaching my boy to hunt.
Why'd you shoot me?
What? I thought you were an animal. You're not wearing hunting vests. You're not wearing. I saw branches moving and.
Do you know what's going on?
Are you aware this is a crime scene?
Crime scene? I don't know anything about a crime scene. I'm just out here with my boy.
Sir, do you normally just shoot in the direction of sound? Do you often shoot whenever a tree branch moves? Do you know how dangerous that is?
Do you know how dangerous it is to be in these woods without wearing something like a bright-colored vest?
I guess in times like these, and with people like you scouring the woods, perhaps it is more dangerous.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh, and this is when he notices you've got a badge. Oh, officer, I'm really sorry.
Do I know any of these dudes from my hunting stuff?
Be.
Would they recognize Aldous?
Well, I don't know. Do they? Do you recognize them? I mean, they don't know you. I mean, you can ask them who they are, what their name is, where they're from, what they're doing out here.
I asked that stuff.
Well, I'm hunting. I'm out here hunting. What are you doing? What are you folks doing out here?
This is a search party. We're looking for a missing girl. Yeah, get that?
A missing girl? No. We're visiting. We're both from Boston, and we came out here to hunt. I came out here to show my boy the woods and teach him how to hunt. We're here with someone else too.
If you're from Boston, how come your accent?
Because I don't know how to do accents.
You don't know how to do a Boston accent?
Boston?
I'm not from that part of Boston.
Yeah, man, these woods are wicked crazy out here.
So I'm out here.
I'm walking here.
I'm out here with a friend, and he has his son with him too.
He's working here.
Where's your friend at?
Well, Brian and Arthur, his 12th son. They went further up into the woods. They said they were gonna do some hunting up there. I was coming down here with my son, and we were gonna start heading back.
I think it'd be best if you stick with us for a while.
Is it required to have a hunting license?
Interstate.
I don't know. It's 1920. Yeah, he too. So hang on. Well, apparently not. I don't know the law. I don't know hunting laws. I'm not the DNR. I'm not the goddamn DNR.
I would probably know hunting laws. Let's
My friends, they went deeper into those woods just a couple days back. I'm expecting them to come out any day now.
How long have you been in these woods?
Oh, we've been camping for going on about a week now.
You see anybody with a girl?
Well, with a girl, no. I don't know what a girl will be doing out in these woods.
That's sexist.
I thought he was gonna say, I don't know what a girl looks like.
They have mustaches?
I think it'd be best, sir, if you and your son joined our party, and we can go looking for your friends, as Well, as we make our way through these woods here.
And throw you in jail for attempted murder.
And you see the young boy looking nervous, and he looks up at his dad. Dad, I just want to go. I just want to get out of here. Please, Dad, let's go.
What can I roll for that? Is there an empathy or something?
Persuasion.
Honestly, I don't know. I'm just as new to this as you are. I'm gonna go with
Psychology.
psychology. Yep.
Psychology.
It's not
That's sort
all
of
intimidate them.
diagnosing
Yeah. Oof.
What is he doing? What are you trying to do?
He wants to just get out of here. What's going on, sir, with you and your son? He seems distressed.
Well, we were out here hunting, and we were having a good time at first, but that reservoir up there, well, we started having some bad dreams as soon as we got there, and well, the boy's kind of spooked now, and he wants to go home. I don't blame the boy. I was having some of those dreams too. It was a weird thing, but anyhow, we decided we're gonna go ahead and leave. My buddy, he's up there a little deeper in the woods, but he should be out soon too, and then we're all gonna head back to Boston.
Explain these dreams to me. What kinds of dreams?
Well, I can't say that I remember now. I just
Do your
know
best.
dreams. I don't know. You ever had a nightmare like that?
Like what?
Like what? Exactly.
Well, a nightmare.
If it's so bad that you remember that it's a nightmare, but you don't remember what it's about.
I don't know. It was like I was drowning or something. It was dark. I don't know. I blocked it out. I don't remember. I just know that I was having nightmares out there, and it's time to go. My boy doesn't want to be here anymore. I'm gonna take him.
Henry will address the boy.
Damn it.
What kind of dreams were you having, child?
Hold up. Why are we asking these people about their dreams?
I don't know.
Man.
Where did you come from?
Yeah. Why are you so interested in us having nightmares and wanting to leave? I don't quite understand that.
Can I use intimidate?
Something that I heard back in the town. People said that these woods are weird. Weird, strange things happen out here.
Listen, I was dreaming that I was drowning. That's all I remember. I was drowning.
This graze on my arm says you might know more.
I'm so sorry about that, sir. You were rustling around the woods, and
Your excuses.
Lucky for you, I'm a bad shot. I apologize.
Lucky for you, I'm not dead. Lucky for you, I'm not fucking angry and bash your skull in, kid.
Oh my goodness.
Lucky for you, sir. I'm not gonna take you to confiscate that rifle and those vests.
You're gonna take a rifle?
That's correct.
Listen, we're leaving. We're going home. We're going back into town. Wait for our friend. As a matter of fact,
we have to reiterate that this is a crime scene.
And you're going back to town.
And I'm
that
leaving.
Rifle and without
I'm
those
leaving
vests.
right now.
And without those vests. Give us those vests. And rifles.
Are we robbing them?
I'm
And your money?
Hey, he's
And
lucky I
whatever
don't.
else you got.
He's lucky I don't
And
handcuff him to a
rations.
tree. I should have handcuffed him, put him in a car. He just shot somebody out here.
Yeah, like me.
Granted, we're not wearing vests, but this is the 1920s, man.
They're not a
Also,
good
this is a
investment.
crime
at this point.
scene.
No,
All
this is a double crime scene.
Deputy
I wish
Collins, you can flash your badge and make an intimidation roll.
Ah. All right, I'll make another one. Damn it.
I can intimidate.
How are they so bad?
Intimidate.
I just told him he's lucky I don't take him to jail. Just give me the stuff and get out of here. You gotta make like a tree, buddy, and get.
Are you really threatening me and my boy?
Enough. not threatening
I
you.
swear to God. No,
You-
Or encouraging you to get out of the woods without those vests and without
know
that
what?
rifle.
You can have my vest. You're not putting my son in danger taking his vest. And he takes his vest off and he throws it on the ground. And then he unloads the gun, pops the round that's in there out, and he hands the gun over. The sheriff's gonna hear about this. You have my word on that. I
Okay.
feel
The
like
sheriff will hear
I feel
about
like
how
you
you
just
grazed
robbed
this
me.
as well.
Make sure that you inform the sheriff that it was Deputy Collins who confiscated your rifle and your vest and sent you out of the woods. And then also make sure that he knows that you shot one of our party members. See if he doesn't put you in a jail cell.
I can't believe this. I'm going to the sheriff. I'm going back to Boston. I'm never coming back to this hellhole.
Good, we don't want you here.
And he hands his rifle over. Man, you guys became a bunch of thugs all of a sudden.
You're
The
not
dude shot
in
us.
enough.
He just shot somebody in my party.
He shot somebody, and he's also trespassing on a crime scene.
He also doesn't have an interstate hunting license. That's what that is.
This is public ground, and he had no knowledge of a crime scene.
Well, now he knows. And he still shot a guy.
Yeah.
And Brick killed a guy.
Okay, so, and as he's kind of storming off, the boy is like, "Daddy, we gotta go. Let's just get out of here. Give them what they want, and let's get out of here." And he turns to you, the dad, and says, "If you come across my friend, you send them out too. We're gonna get out. You can't miss him. Big old Texan hat.
We'll keep an eye out for him.
His name's Brian. His boy's name is Arthur."
Brian and Arthur.
Okay.
All right, sir, you best get out of these woods then.
Do they got a pension for shooting at people, too?
Well, maybe not now that you have an orange vest on, properly dressed for these woods.
Yeah, well, this is the 1920s, sir. We don't wear vests.
I would
It's
say
current
frequently.
Just so you don't accidentally shoot anyone either, I guess I should mention I ran into a group of artists from some school out there too.
What?
God
They-
damn, why are there so many people out here?
Well, they said they were out here painting nature. They were
Where are they?
on a field trip or something like that, where they could get hands-on experience and paint the woods or paint nature. I don't know, wearing overalls and covered in paint out there painting.
What kind of paint was it? Red?
Well, that sounds
Red.
suspicious.
It
Paint
was a
the
lot of
forest
different
red.
colors, I guess. They're artists. They said they're from a school out here painting.
They weren't trying to paint it black, were they?
Well, I hope they don't get caught up in all this. And then, like I said, if you see my friend and his boy, you send them out.
Oh man, it's the 1920s. That's lead-based paint.
Oh shit, those trees are dead for sure. We gotta go arrest them too for murder.
Yep.
Those
All right,
trees,
sir.
They're not painting the trees. They're painting on canvases pictures of the trees.
Okay, then they'll be dead soon because it's lead-based paint.
Sir, I don't appreciate your attitude. You and your boy get out of these woods.
We're off. Like I said, I'm gonna go find that sheriff.
Please do. Send him my regards.
Do I have like a card for my business, my hunting guide business? I want to give it to them before they head out.
No. They want nothing to do with you.
Hey, I'm not the guy who requested their weapons. I didn't shoot them. I didn't do shit.
Just showed up halfway through the conversation.
He was just sneaking around behind us.
Okay, so you see them. You see them kind of the dad shaking his head, and the boy pulling his dad along by the hand, looking distraught as they kind of walk off in the distance that you just came from.
All right, whatever the hell hell that was. We should be on our way.
Can I bandage myself up? Hold
No.
Band-Aid.
Yeah, you want me to? You want me to try? I think my guys.
If you want. If not, I'm decent at it.
Oh, you know what?
You can just, role play this part. It's not like you've taken a wound so severe or egregious that it's going to continue to.
You don't want that.
I'll put a Hello Kitty Band-Aid on my skirt. There we go.
All right, Aldous. So I'm sure Aldous was able to hear what I was conveying, my thoughts and feelings on how obvious all this was to the other members. Or was he not paying attention?
How obvious all this was?
Yeah, the path and the trail. It's not necessarily suspicious how direct it is, but just the fact that it seems like they're running from something. But so far as we know, there shouldn't be anything chasing them.
Yes, well, they certainly weren't trying to hide where they were going.
Exactly. Doesn't that seem a little bit odd to you?
I thought it seemed a little odd earlier, but there haven't been any indications of them changing their ways since the gunfire exchange.
And it's hard to anticipate what they might do, having heard another gunshot go off in the woods. What's your suggestion, or what do you suggest we do at this point? Just continue?
There's no harm in keeping on this trail for now.
Oh, we can't
Although
do.
we should be looking out for those artist types. I ain't never trust an artist.
Are you suspicious of a lot of people, Mr. Pennery?
Is there anybody you do trust?
I pull out my rifle and I give it an old kiss. Old Betsy here, she's earned my trust.
Now, how old did you say Samuel was, or that's just kind of for him to decide?
He's still like
Samuel?
36, I think, right?
Samuel is 32.
Okay, is anybody else here experienced with firearms that doesn't have a weapon?
I don't have one, but I got some experience in firearms. Not a lot, though.
Firearms RS?
Hmm?
Firearms, rifles, shotguns?
I don't think
Yeah.
either of us are ever going to be very good with.
Better
Well-
with handguns, but
I'm better with rifles.
Okay. I'm gonna give the rifle to Samuel.
Okay. So, Samuel, if you would like, you can add a rifle into your combat section.
Cool.
Yep. It's a AK-47 rifle.
Okay. How much damage does that deal?
Someone else has a rifle. What does it do?
2d6 plus 4, medium range.
So as you guys are kind of gathering your wits about you again after that interaction with the hunter and his boy, he told you about his friend and his son that are still up in the woods, and then also this
Weird artists.
group of students, artists that he came across who are out here practicing their skills as well.
Mr. Pennery, have you ever heard of so many people being in these woods all at once? Just
Have I? This is a popular...
have you ever seen artists out here?
I'm assuming not, so I'm gonna go for now. No, this is the first I have heard of any artists. My woods aren't any different from any other forest area you'll find. I don't see the appeal, honestly.
Well, I guess we should just continue on then.
I still say we should check out these artist fellows. I don't like the smell of it.
All right, then. When you find the trail to the artist, do tell us.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't he motion in a general area or give us some sort of hint?
Yeah, he motioned in the same direction that you guys are already going in.
Well then, let's head on.
All right. Do we got a spot hidden or track?
Nope. You guys continue on in the direction that you've been going. You realize now that they're essentially following this path, this trail. It was the easiest route through the woods, especially if you're trying to make an escape. You realize you're going to want to take the easiest path. So that's obviously what the kidnappers did as you follow the trail for another couple of hours and notice that there's been no deviation. You notice deer in the woods, you notice, birds flying around, insects buzzing, and then it starts to get later and later and later as you follow the trail. Still no luck with obviously finding anything that's any kind of breakthrough, and you realize it's getting dark and that you are also getting tired.
Maybe we should set up camp, don't you think?
The longer we wait, the higher chance that girl's gonna wind up dead.
True, but we shouldn't push ourselves too hard or else we could get caught off guard.
Well, if they were after one ransom, what says that they're not gonna try to get another?
Mm-hmm.
Well, think about it. That girl is made of money. Her father owns a water plant. What are you?
So we gone then, Mr. Pinnery?
I say we trudge on. Besides, if we find him in the dark, we'll have the edge.
Or if they find us.
I'm gonna
Keep your eyes and ears open.
let you know due to exhaustion, due to lack of rest, and due to the darkness, anything you attempt to do right now will be more difficult.
How long have we been walking?
Hours and hours.
Hours and hours.
I'm gonna be real honest with you, Mr. Pinnery. I appreciate that you want to find these people, but chances of us finding them in the dark are quite slim.
I'm of the same mind as them, Mr. Pinnery. I say we set camp.
I'm gonna spit to the side and mutter to myself about these young kids and being late.
If you want to go, and you can continue and do whatever you please, but
We should split the party.
Don't split the party, and definitely don't. Then guide and who knows, terrible misfortunes might happen to us.
from what I've seen, we've got a pretty straight path.
Yes, but we don't know when it might deviate, and we don't know if anybody has circled back. Best to have the sharpest eyes and ears with us at all times.
So just to be clear, I'll allow it if you guys want to continue on in the dark and exhausted, but everything's going to become extremely difficult if you do choose to do that.
It's 3 against 1 right now, so he's been voted.
Bunch of pansies.
Makes you sleep.
Did you see the 100 that I rolled earlier today?
Yeah, that was pretty impressive.
It was in that same role that you also had a critical success. Someone rolled the deputy rolled a 1. And
Yeah, making this harder isn't gonna do what we need to do.
Man, they would have never made it during the war.
No, I wouldn't have. I'm a car salesman.
Which war are you referring to, Mr. Pinnery?
Let's see, I was born in 1867, so... Civil War? I was like 5 years
Civil
old.
War, which you were... Yeah, I was going to say.
Probably World War One.
No.
Red Cloud War.
So
Anyhow, you guys are camping for the night. All right, so
Yeah. I guess it could have been in World War One, right? Wasn't that like 1914 when that started?
The Mexican Revolution.
so
Spanish American War. There you go.
finding a clearing to camp is relatively easy, especially this far into the forest. So you guys are able to find a place to camp for the night.
Well, if you're so set on resting, why don't you set up camp?
Okay. Henry will start setting up camp.
Who's missing? Deputy.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't
Yeah,
turn
no.
my guy out. I was researching
Oh, sorry.
something completely unrelated. I'm there.
Oh, yeah, tokens.
Okay.
Why'd you move me?
So you guys can set up camp. You can go ahead and role play this however you want for a moment.
Mr. Pinnery, do you think it would be wise to set up on this trail?
Would it? Dude, I'm not a hunter. I don't fucking know.
You don't know who the
Say
fuck
yes
knows?
or no, and then that becomes the answer.
Yes.
This is as good as any bliss.
Okay. Henry will start hammering in the picks and whatnot to make the tent be a tent. It's pretty intense.
Does anybody have the skill?
The what skill?
What?
Assemble tent skill?
Yes.
Make our muscle do it.
I can assemble this tent. I can operate heavy machinery.
Samuel, let's say you and I, we go and gather up some small twigs and small branches to build us a fire.
Sounds good.
Mr. Pinnery, are you going to keep lookout?
I was actually thinking about getting like leaves and branches and like cover up our tent, make it look natural, blending in.
Oh. That's a wonderful idea. Okay, so we're gonna go off, I guess, over here. Go assemble some sticks, twigs, and things of that nature.
Okay. So you guys go about busily setting up your camp and getting ready for the night. Building a campfire, putting tents up, all the normal things you would do as you prepare to hunker down for the night.
Is there a roll for this, or?
Nope. So, as it gets, go ahead.
Should we take watch and shifts?
Yes.
Okay.
Henry will go first.
Okay, I will take second watch. Okay, Samuel, you'll take third, and Mr. Pinnery, you'll take the last shift.
Yes.
So it starts to get later and later. You've finished up basically for the evening, eating, doing whatever it is you're going to do, and you start getting ready to go to sleep. Who's on first watch?
I am.
What's
Okay.
on second watch? And I don't know who's on third watch.
Okay.
The deputy was second watch, Samuel was third watch, and then Eldest is last watch.
Okay. So, Henry, go ahead and you can go ahead and just make a listen roll.
Okay. I failed. Yay.
So the night during your watch, you're sitting there while the others are kind of basically sleeping. You hear light snoring coming from tents, light rustling as people toss and turn a little bit. But everything goes by uneventful during your watch. You yawn, and you stretch your arms out and kind of tramp through the undergrowth as you go to wake up the next person for their watch so that you can get some sleep finally.
Hey, wake up. I need to sleep now.
All right.
Have fun.
Of course. He, just so the deputy walks out, he's got his shotgun in hand.
Okay. So the night carries on. It's getting later, darker. There are fewer animal noises. And then you're sitting there and you hear everyone in their tents kind of just rolling and tossing and turning. Go ahead and make a listen roll yourself. It seems like it sounds like they're having fitful sleep, not restful sleep at all, as they kind of toss and turn and thrash, not thrash, but uncomfortably kind of try and get comfortable in their sleep. You other three that are asleep, go ahead and make a willpower check.
Where's willpower?
It's the top.
Is that just power?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Woo! A success.
Okay. So, despite your tossing and turning, you all manage to have an uneventful night of full rest. When you wake up, the night goes by, you go through your various watches, everyone gets some rest, and you wake up and it's almost like, on the tip of your tongue, when you have a dream, but you wake up and you can't remember it, but you had it. That's the feeling you get about last night. You just kind of shake it off and don't really acknowledge it much past that. And it's morning now, and the sun's coming up as you start heading into deeper woods.
Let's get everything packed up and assembled, and we'll press on. Mr. Pennery?
I'm sorry, Mr. Pennery?
Yeah?
He's Cthulhu!
Make a listen roll during your watch last night. Okay.
Way to go, you killed us all.
Okay. And you all wake up and start preparing for the day.
Okay. everything I just said. Let's repeat that and pick up from there.
Henry will pack away the tent.
Okay. I'm assuming we all had bedrolls. We just pack everything up, get in each other's packs or in our individual packs. Mr. Pennery.
Yeah.
While we're finished packing the camp, would you mind scuttleways?
I'm not gonna turn down a chance to not do manual labor. I'll just head on an old dusty trail.
All right, sir.
Oh man, it's 1920, so we don't even have to worry about completely putting out this fire.
Yeah, Smokey's not even been invented yet.
So I scout ahead.
Okay, you start scouting ahead as they're gathering up all the supplies and packing tents and pushing bags, and you still are. Go ahead and make a tracking roll. Yeah, you're able to see where you've been heading slightly eastward, a small path heading north. You can see broken branches and disturbed undergrowth, and you're pretty sure that the trail veers off in this direction.
I returned from my expedition. I informed the group of the trail.
Excellent work, Mr. Pennery. Looks like we're about all packed. So, let's go ahead and make our way north, you said?
Yep, you start heading north.
Okay. Continue on the trail.
So you continue and you change directions and start heading slightly north. You know that Mr. Pennery knows that you're starting to enter into the heart of the forest. It becomes more misty, more dense. The trails aren't as easily seen or spotted. Paths are far and few between. And the sounds of animals start becoming less and less frequent.
Mr. Pennery, about how big would you say these woods are?
Oh, the trees span as far as the eyes can see. To be honest, I haven't exactly mapped out the entire terrain, though I've been here my entire life. Every now and then something will surprise me.
I see. So you're saying hundreds of acres?
Yeah.
How familiar... Thousands of acres, that's what I meant. So how familiar are you with this particular region of the woods?
Oh, about... I don't... Am I familiar with this particular region of woods?
I mean, yeah, you're from. This is far enough, not so far away from the city, from the town that you're unfamiliar with it. There's also a lake not that far, kind of northeast from where you're at that you're familiar with. You know these woods well. So yeah, you're familiar with this area.
Oh, I know these parts like I know the back of my hand. I look at my hand and there's like a cut there that wasn't there before.
Well, that's good. Good news. So do we have to make another track?
you continue. Yep, you continue, kind of trudging through the woods, looking for signs of the young girl, the kidnappers. All this is continuing to show you the directions to go in as he finds broken branches and disturbed undergrowth. You continue in this way for a couple of hours. You're looking down at the ground, and as you continue this far into the woods and it gets just a little bit later, everyone go ahead and make a tracking or spot hidden roll, whichever you prefer. Okay. So Aldous, you are tracking, and the deputy is spotting hidden. Did you roll twice on tracking? Sorry.
He rolled. You made him roll. You could see where the trail turned before.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Track.
Yep.
Yeah. Excellent.
So it looks like Deputy Collins.
Mm-hmm.
As you're looking down at the ground, looking for any signs of where the kidnappers might have gone, the sun catches the corner of your eye, and you kind of turn away a little bit and look over at some plants. And in those plants, you see something red on them.
Hold up, everyone. I point over in the direction of the plants. Do you see that?
See what?
There's red in those plants.
Do we see now that he's pointing it out?
Yeah, yep. Now that he's pointing it out, you can all easily see there's red splatter on these plants.
What's the direction that it's going to? Can we tell, like, the direction of the blood spatter?
Left or right, up or down?
No, you just, this isn't
Forensics.
forensics. Yeah, you see red splatter on the plants.
It is blood. That's all we need to know.
Is there any more blood?
We can tell this
anywhere
killer
in sight
was
from that
left-handed.
flower?
And all this, you passed a tracking roll in that same area where they're noticing, and you've noticed the red splatter on the plants. You are able to see broken branches and shrubs heading slightly off the direction that you're currently traveling in, going further north.
They went that way, and I motion.
Oh, as well.
I didn't hear what he said.
I heard I motion.
Yeah, that's all I heard.
They went that way.
Let's follow it.
So
Do we want to
basically,
investigate the blood splatter first, or do we not care about that?
the blood splatter is in that same direction as the broken branches. Essentially the blood splatter is on those broken branches. You notice the splatter, and Aldous noticed that the undergrowth and the branches are all kind of broken and disturbed in that area.
Okay.
But you also are aware of the fact that this is going in a different direction than the trail you've been following. That trail is still obviously going its original direction, and this is a different direction going away from the trail.
Is it possible, or does anybody else think that maybe this could have been those other hunters, or perhaps those painters?
What?
I mean, do we want to follow this trail, or do we want to follow that main trail?
No, we gotta follow the trail of blood. Might lead the girl.
Yeah. I suppose it could.
Not. That's probably
Could also be from those hunters. Maybe they got some type of game.
Maybe they shot another person like the other ones did.
Exactly. We should find them and question them.
The last time it didn't work out so well. Didn't turn out so well. Mr. Aldous, what do you think?
I said we should go that way, so let's
Blood?
skedaddle. Blood.
Okay.
blood,
All right.
the blood gods.
But I don't wanna, Daddy. Hey,
Too late.
get him out of here.
So,
We're following the blood trail.
So you're gonna leave your established path and follow the blood
Yep.
trail.
Okay.
Yes.
Before we leave the path, should we mark it? Do we have any freeze?
I think someone has a pocket full of hard candy.
I do indeed.
Yeah. He's not gonna lead us back. This isn't, Hansel and Gretel.
I mean, I'm a tracker. I think I can track my own tracks.
Yeah, well, we've seen enough weird things going on already.
Also, if Henry's wearing boots or something, we'll probably be able to track ourselves back.
Maybe we should just break some branches here and there. Just throwing it out there as just don't jump down my throat.
I say we jump down your throat. Let's keep going.
Too late, I already broke your legs.
Too late, I already took your throat out.
Oh.
Alright, so we're following the blood path.
Yep.
Okay, so you guys decide to kind of deviate from your normal path that you've been following when you notice this blood on these plants and the broken branches and foliage just kind of leading off in this other direction. Aldous takes the lead, and with expert skill, he tracks through the woods following this blood trail. He sees a spot here, a spot there, a broken twig here, and just kind of expertly using his years of knowledge knows that this is the direction that you all need to be going in. You get approximately half a mile on this makeshift trail that you're following. The sounds of the forest around you are just muted and dim. There's a slight wind in the background cutting through the trees. Everyone go ahead and make a spot hidden roll.
Finally.
Damn, Henry.
So
Henry sees all.
Henry and Aldous, at the same time as you're walking through this area, you find you're not sure if that's right, but you find on the ground an old rusty hunting knife, and it seems to be covered in something kind of red and sticky, and you think it might be blood.
Oh no.
Don't touch that, Henry.
Okay.
Aldous,
Touch it.
what do you make of this? Yeah, touch it. Yeah, touch it. What do you make of this?
It's like, I'm gonna pick up the knife. Is it fresh blood?
Sticky.
It's sticky, so it's not even fully dried yet.
I'm gonna be kind of weird. I'm gonna lick it.
Jam.
And as you're
It's poison.
as you're picking it up and you become weary or leery, like you said, you start looking around the woods. The shrubs are thick around here. Everyone make a spot hidden check again.
Ooh, snap! Extreme, bro! Extreme, bro!
So Aldous and the deputy, you other two see them looking around in the shrubs, and they come to a complete stop. And I'm going to send you guys something. You guys can continue to RP as I'm doing this if you'd like.
I'm on the edge of my...
I'm gonna pull out my rifle and start looking around.
Samuel, watch the rear, would you please? Use that rifle, scope it out.
Careful, it's fresh, maybe.
We're on high alert here.
What is that, Mr. Pinnery?
I'm gonna start moving towards the body. Like, carefully, slowly approach it.
Okay.
I'm gonna follow up behind him.
You other two see them intently and closely looking at something in the undergrowth of the shrubs.
What is it? What's that?
Just stay there.
Why?
Just keep watch.
Okay. Henry will keep watching out.
Can we see exactly what this is?
So the two of you kneel down and kind of push the shrubs aside, and you see what appears to be a young man. He's lying face down under the shrubs there. His body is completely covered in slashes and stab wounds. There's blood everywhere. His clothes are torn. His hands are gripped in rigor mortis, almost like in a fight or flight stance. His flesh is hanging off of him in tatters, and there's bugs starting to crawl around on him.
I think he's dead.
I think you're right.
Through.
Both of you make a sanity check.
Sanity, I don't know if I have one.
Yeah, it's at the top on the right-hand side.
I found it, kind of. Okay, I've got strength, dex, power, con, app.
Below
Edge you.
all those.
Yeah, syntax.
Oh, I see it. Yeah. Mine, I don't have anything currently.
I don't have anything.
God damn it!
Is it
Damn it.
temporary or indefinite?
I think I did it for all the NPCs, and I didn't do it for you guys. So we're gonna start off everyone with 75 sanity.
Current 75.
The current start, right? Yeah.
75.
There.
Okay. So you pass your sanity roll. You don't lose any sanity. And you also pass your sanity roll. So
I passed way harder though, so I'm gonna poke the body.
Roll him over.
the
With my
deputy,
rifle, yeah.
the deputy being, a lawman and having seen murders in the past and other horrific things. He looks at the body, and while it's horrific, he doesn't flinch at it. And then Aldous, being a veteran of some war that we're all unfamiliar with, has seen death come and go as well. He's seen bodies face down in the mud before.
Yeah, I want to turn it over with my rifle, you know?
He also does not suffer any effects from seeing this grisly scene. Well, you try to turn it over with your rifle, but it takes more than that. It's a dead body.
Right, and you say his rigor mortis is set in.
All right, then we're kicking this dude. We identify him.
Yeah.
Like, we're rolling him over is my goal here.
Yeah.
Well, you roll him over, and like I said, you don't recognize him. You don't recognize him. He doesn't look like anyone that either come across before. He is, again, he's slashed up. His face is slashed with ribbons of flesh kind of hanging off of him. He is wearing overalls that are flecked with paint, a white t-shirt that is stained, red and pink now with his own blood. He had some boots that are also flecked with different colors of paint all over it.
He's got pockets, right?
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say.
I want to look for a wallet.
And there's knife wounds, on him. Some of them are someone attempted to bandage them, but weren't able to.
Yeah, so looking for a wallet here.
Does anybody recall how many painters did that guy say that there were out
He said it was just a group.
A group.
Yeah, but
So
still.
unspecific. I need specificity.
You don't find anything on him. There's not a wallet. There's not any kind of papers. There's nothing like that.
Could this have been the other hunters?
No,
I mean, there's a hunting knife that was over there.
yeah, he's got stab wounds. Well, he's got stab wounds, and he's wearing overalls. And there's paint on him. I don't think he was one of the hunters.
No, I'm saying, could this guy have been murdered by that other hunter?
We know that they like shooting at people. Maybe they like stabbing people too.
I wouldn't think so.
Look at his face. That's not the work of a hunting knife. Those are claws, if I've ever seen any.
What kind of animal lives out here that could do this?
We've known to have some bears, but...
What are we doing out here?
Yeah, would I be able to tell if this is a bear mark on his face, or...
Sure, make a nature roll.
Oh, can I make one as well? Oh, it didn't matter. He's got it.
Yeah, so you look at the wounds on his body, and you realize that these are too thin to be animals' claws. It's not a tearing. This is slicing. This is a blade.
Like a hunting knife?
Well, it's a blade. That's all you know.
All right. So how far is the hunting knife from the body? Can I go inspect that better? I have it, right?
You picked it up. You picked it up.
Can I, okay, this is gonna be a little weird. I want to see if I can run. I'm not actually, stabbing into him, but, you know what
I was gonna suggest that to see if the blade lines up or can somehow...
Well, yeah, you can do that, sure.
I'm not stabbing a dude, but I want to see if the blade is...
Or you could put 2 to 2 together.
I mean, or you can stab him.
It's called confirmation. I'm not gonna make assumptions here.
You found a dead body with cut wound, and then you found a bloody hunting knife next to him.
I mean, I thought...
Or guys, if you really wanted to, you could stab him.
Okay, common sense here obviously has prevailed since I rolled that intelligence check. I think this is the wolf. So perhaps the other hunter that's out here and his son or whoever was with him. some. That's their
You
names.
are super fucking choppy, dude.
Said, so this guy's been stabbed, and you have that hunting knife. So, is it possible that that hunter killed this painter?
I'm gonna drop the knife and realize that my fingerprints are over it.
Well, it's fine. I was here when you picked it up.
Exactly. Fine.
I'm just saying, common sense should prevail at this point. That this is the obvious murder weapon. Can we continue to kind of rummage around here, see if we
Yeah,
can
you can do
find
that. And
a
since
trail?
Aldous, since you were holding the knife and you were trying to, match the blade up with the cuts, it seems like you were really taking a close look at the knife. Am I correct in that assumption?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and make make an appraisal roll.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not very good at that.
You blew it!
This knife is worth $1 million.
I can tell you how much that is.
Do you hand the knife over to him?
What? Oh, sure. I don't know. What exactly
Is
was
he
the
gonna be able
appraisal
to-
for? Was I?
I mean, okay, so Aldous and the
Basically, you're
deputy,
inspecting the knife.
right? And Aldous and the deputy, we know that this is the murder weapon. Is he going to be okay inspecting the murder weapon or a weapon with
See,
blood?
you said it
from
was
this?
a dead body, and I'm well aware.
I know, but I'm just saying, is he going to be okay with it? Is he going to have to make a roll?
I
To
can
be like,
understand
oh.
if necessary.
No, that's only if they go look at the body. They haven't gone over to look at the body yet.
All right, don't come over here. Just look at this
How are you
knife.
throwing a knife?
Throw it
Catch
to me.
Make sure you throw it like a dart.
With how I've been rolling, it'll probably stab me in the chest, and I fucking die. Anyway, I will look over the knife.
So, as Samuel looks over the knife, Samuel, you realize that this knife is very old. It's got a lot of rust on it. It's definitely not a modern day hunting knife. It's something that almost looks like a military style
I
knife.
called it.
And it's an old hunting knife with a lot of rust on it.
Well, if the hunters are out here using knives from the war, they're not going to be cutting very many things. And he'll hand the knife back to whoever gave it to him.
Right. I don't think this is a murder weapon.
And why do you say that, Mr. Pinnery?
Well, look at here. Now that he's mentioned it, that it is from the war, it's very dull, old. I doubt you can make cuts like this with a weapon like that.
Unless this guy's been out here for a while.
Well, it could be an heirloom as well. We can't rule it out, is all I'm saying.
I mean,
would
look
hunt
at
it.
this. I'm gonna take the knife, right? It's old, it's super dull, yeah?
It's rusty.
There's no way you're gonna make a cut.
I wouldn't say it's dull. No one said it was dull.
Yeah, no one said it was dull. He just said it was rusty and old. That doesn't mean it can't cut things. I mean, if I had a rust knife, I could still stab you to death with it.
Yeah, but these are
Probably more
fine, sharp
efficiently
cuts,
than a
you
normal
know?
knife.
Like,
Yeah,
the slashes
you're
on his
gonna
face
hurt more.
are super fine.
You said that's. I thought. You said it was from an animal.
Well, no, he said it wasn't from an animal upon further inspection.
Oh, right. I know I was here.
I don't know where that voice came from, but it told me that it wasn't an animal.
Okay. So you just search around the body here?
To what?
Search around the body? Or is this pretty much all that we're going to turn up here?
I don't know.
So you search around. Yeah, you can search around, but there's not much here. The broken branches and blood trail continue to lead off in the same direction that you were following.
Well, continue on then, gentlemen.
Yeah, might as well keep going.
The same way that we're going, or do we wish to double back?
I think we should just keep going the same way. Follow the trail.
Samuel? Mr. Pennery?
I'm going wherever you guys are going.
Oh, we're at a standstill.
Starting to have
Because two people don't care.
starting to have second thoughts about even being here. Really?
Well,
We gotta rescue the girl.
only reason is wherever we go, I will take point.
You think we're qualified for this? This is more of it's a murder case now. Yeah, we're not just tracking down some gangsters to negotiate or something.
This entire time was a crime.
Yeah,
This is
the
it.
crimes
All
at
the
different
police
levels.
Well, it's
We still
always
gotta
been a
find the
murder. They killed the deputy.
That's true. They may have killed the deputy. They shot.
No, they
two of my
did kill a
friends.
deputy. Pretty sure that kill is confirmed.
At a shoot off. This is more like, this is pretty brutal. I mean, look at him.
Still,
Well, either way,
When he
I have
says
one knife.
when he says look at him, does Henry and Samuel look at him?
No.
Hey, you two, you should get a look at this.
I'll pass. Thank you.
it's probably best
Nah,
that you
it's,
don't.
it's good.
I mean, if you're part of this investigation team, you gotta offer your input on the matter.
I have a weak
My
stomach.
input is that I won't look at it.
Sick.
My
I believe you.
So you guys have a decision to make.
Yeah, I thought we were just keep going, yeah?
Follow the trail of blood.
I'm ready to follow you, Mr. Pennery. You take point. You're the expert navigator and
Follow the
huntsman.
stream.
Let's go.
Off topic, Henry has to go to bed because it is 11:10.
Well then, in that case, you have found a murdered body and a murder weapon here in the forest, and you've decided to follow the blood trail further into the forest. And with that, we'll leave it there.
Excellent.
That way, Matihi can get her beauty rest.
Eat it. I'm ugly as fuck.
What's that?
Is that I'm ugly as fuck.
Okay, I'm not sure where that goes from.
You need as much sleep as you can get, huh?
Exactly.
Okay.
As the day progresses, she slowly gets uglier, and then she sleeps.
I do, then I'm just a witch, not like, I need to sleep.
We're gonna call it a little early, just so that she can get to sleep.
Yeah.
We'll make it a two-parter.
Part 1, the bloodening.
No, part 2 is the bloodening.
Okay. I thought it was a deadening.
Sorry, being a little late.
It's okay.
Part 2 is the bloodening too.